Could it be episode 2 of Oakhead Island? That's right. I'm your host, Jon Hill. I got a new light. I don't know how good it is. It keeps going on and off. It's actually my wife's makeup mirror. Check it out, guys. So, yeah, that's what I'm working with this week. Just trying to upgrade a little, make the show a little better for you guys. We are about to watch episode 2 of season 7, Curse of Oak Island. I'm excited. I just watched the trailer. Here's the deal. Looks like they're going into the swamp this week. Looks like they're going to Smith's Cove. And then it looks like they might have found a rock. Exciting. Yes, a rock. An entire rock that Gary Drayton found. So that's the trailer. Let's see what happens this week. My guess is I'm not too skeptical about the swamp. I know there's like a ship-shaped object in there. I'm gonna be honest, I just feel like it's an anomaly, and I don't know. I'm not too excited for it. I'm a little more excited for Smith's Cove and this rock. Whatever this rock is, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good rock. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a great rock. So we'll see. They're gonna dig down. We saw at the end of the last episode, they started, they had the barge. They're going into the swamp. Still trying to say if it's man-made or not. I don't know many man-made swamps. It's not like a thing I picture like ancient people doing, just being like, oh, let's make a swamp and drop a ship in there. But that's what they're selling us, and I'm buying it because I love the show. All right, folks, let's get ready. All you Oakheads, let's do it. Episode 2 coming up right now. All right, we're back. Oakheads, we're up. First commercial break. And guess what? Haven't found anything. That's right. Didn't hit a big piece of wood and a big ship like they had hoped. Kind of figured that'd be the case. First episode, they started drilling right away. It's kind of a sign that maybe that wasn't, what it was going to be. But that's okay. They did find some clay, which is kind of interesting. Choice drilling's there. They're drilling boreholes. We got Tom Nolan, Fred Nolan's son there. Interesting fact, Tom Nolan owns a lot of Oak Island still. So that's pretty cool that he's there. They got a 5-ton drill rig, and they're drilling. They're looking for something. They're hoping to find probably wood, which would be the ship, the SHIP. Like I said, they didn't. They got some dirt. But the new thing they have is they found some dry clay, and they're trying to connect that to the money pit, the same type of clay that they found at the money pit, which is, it's kind of a loose connection, to be honest with you. I think it's like, they didn't find the wood, so they're worried how do we sell this? How do we spin this into something good? And they're going to go always to the money pit. When in doubt, money pit. When in doubt, no matter what it is, go money pit. Actually, when in doubt, go Knights Templar. That's the key. Always go Knights Templar. Then do money pit, sometimes 10x, and the cross. The cross is pretty good too, the lead cross. But that's also kind of Knights Templar, so it's kind of the same thing. But like I said, Knights Templar, money pit, 10x, stick with that, and you always have yourself some drama, which this show is great at. So they haven't found that yet. They're about 25 feet in. They said they see some clay. I'm not too excited for that. They did the graphic where they showed that every 10 feet there was wood down there, and I'm gonna be honest, I see what they're trying to say. That after they, buried the treasure, they put this wood there, but I don't know. It's a tough sell for me. I think, to be honest, what I think it could be is, maybe there's treasure once down there, and then when you dug it back up to fill in the hole, you kind of need every 10 feet, maybe some wood, planks. They said they put this clay down there to possibly stop water from coming up. I think it could be the opposite, stop water from going down. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, opposite. Instead of water going down, it's water coming up. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. My oak heads know what I'm talking about. Come on now. Y'all smart. So now we're going back in the second commercial. We'll see. Like I said, nothing too exciting, nothing too crazy. Don't want to say a disappointment because we don't know what else they're going to find, but definitely not, not too exciting. It would have been great to find some kind of piece of the ship or some kind of wood or something like that. Just finding some clay, I don't know. And the big cliffhanger is they hit something. They hit something and they went to commercial break. Something stopped the drill, so we'll see. Could just be as simple as rock, bedrock. It could be a lot of things. But we're coming back. So all you oak heads. Oh, by the way, make sure you comment below. That's clutch. I need those comments down in the YouTube section. I've been seeing a lot of people say nice things in the Facebook groups. I'm in all the Curse of Oak Island Facebook groups, fans of Oak Island, all that. I appreciate you. Shout out to all the moderators. I think one of your names is Fred, maybe. I thought I saw Fred in there. I'm not sure. I got to double check. Sorry. My memory's not that great, but appreciate you letting me in the group. Appreciating you letting me post my video in the group. That's like huge. I really appreciate that because I've been in other Facebook groups where the moderators are like, oh, you can only post this, you can only post that. Oh, our group is so sacred. It can only have these kind of things. No, I think like we're fans of the show, and you should be able to post whatever. I'm not selling anything. I'm not trying to say to do this, do that. I'm just a fan like all you guys and all you oak heads out there. I'm just trying to make content for you because I think we love the show. That's end of the day, we're just fans, and but I'm very happy that you have allowed me into the Facebook groups, first of all, and second to let me post these videos because I hope I'm providing content and a side of the show that you guys appreciate, side that I appreciate, and I hope we can keep building this community. And one of the best things is to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Comment below. I want to hear questions. I'll answer them back. Things like that. It's interactive. Hit them up on the Facebook group. Hit them up, on the YouTube, whatever it is. We're just trying to build. We're just trying to have some fun. And most importantly, trying to find that gold. Got to find that gold, guys. All right, here we go. Let's see if they find the gold. All right, we're back. Oak heads. Here we go. All right. So the crew is still at the swamp. They're now 29.5 feet deep, and they have hit Cap Rock. Now, I had no idea what Cap Rock was, but now I do, because the show is very good at explaining what things are. And in the energy and mining industry, which both Marty and Craig Tester, that's where they made their money. So they know. Basically, Cap Rock is a very, very heavy, dense rock. And that blocks kind of from liquids and water coming through, or like oil or something coming through. So it's kind of like, impenetrable. And like, that's where like, liquids like oil could like stay underneath or above, right? So that's why they know what that is. Acts like a seal, and it's very hard to drill through. So while they're drilling, their drill stops. And, when your drill stops, the solution to get it going is apparently to just hit it with a sledgehammer, because that's what they did. They just started whapping it with the sledgehammer a few times, just bang, 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 because I guess that's what you do. Even though you have a 5-ton drill, and you have, and it can drill thousands and thousands of tons of pressure or pounds of pressure, whatever it can do. When it gets stuck, you do what most men do, and you just grab a large object like a sledgehammer and just whap at it, hoping that it fixes it. Well, guess what? It did not fix it, even though they kept smashing it with a sledgehammer. So they decided that they were stuck, and then Marty makes the call to move the drill. So they're gonna move it to a different location because they're stuck there in the swamp. Or as Marty says, the decision was made for them. Sometimes that happens. So they're gonna move the drill. In the meantime, they go to Smith's Cove, right? Because Craig goes to Smith's Cove, and he has these couple new characters, Don Johnston and Steve Watson from Global GPR Services, and they're gonna go kind of check out what's been going on. Sorry, my light's going all over the place. It's not the best light. We'll get a better one for next week, though. I'm gonna try. The makeup light's being difficult, but you know, it's like just like Oak Island, things don't work. It's the mystery, okay? I thought this makeup light would be the solution to my lighting problems, but it's not. But it's just like I just have to wave my wand. It's almost kind of like a Jedi, right? The light goes off and it's like, ooh, get that light back, right? I just kind of, ooh, and then you can see my pretty face. You can see my new glasses. I just got these, shout out. And then also my Gary Drayton treasure hunter hat. So, so you guys can see. Get a little closer so you guys can see. Yeah. You like that? It's a nice hat. You can get it off his website, support Gary. Because he ain't finding gold right now. Probably needs money. Just kidding, Gary. Got a long season. You might have found a lot of gold coming up. All right, so we got Don Johnston and Steve Watson from Global GPR Services. They use the Noggin 100 GPR device. And I love when the show gets very specific about some of their devices. Light on. You will turn on light. I like when they get very specific, like the Noggin 100 GPR device, because that, I always wonder, like, is that part of the deal? Like, hey, we'll come and do the service for you, but you got to really sell our product. I'm not sure. I'd like to find out. Maybe one day I can talk to someone to find out. But right now, that's just my best guess. And what the Noggin 100 GPR device does is it sends electromagnetic pulses into the ground, right? We've seen this a bunch of times on the show. And what that does is it sends pulses, kind of like a sonar type thing, I guess. That's what it feels like. And they can find some objects. So they're looking for the box drains this time. Remember last year they found that concrete wall. They found the wood. Now, this is a weird one. The concrete wall is not that old. It's pretty modern, relatively modern. I think they said 1930s-ish. But the wood is really, really old, older than the money pit. So they kind of glossed over the fact that the wood is extremely, extremely old, but the wall isn't. So we'll see what that means. I'm not sure. It's kind of a tricky one, but we just got to go. We got to go with it until they tell us what to believe. So they're going to do that. They're going to search and find out what the deal about that is. See if they can find where some of this drainage tunnel goes, because they think that could be the key to the money pit. I'm skeptical. I'm a little skeptical, but we'll find out, And then next, they're Gary, Rick, and Dan Henske. What up, Dan Henske? Go to lot 21, and they start looking for objects. Of course, they bring up the cross again, because you got to bring up the cross every episode. You need to know that, because that's the best find. And again, when in doubt, Knights Templar. So they found that other piece of decorative lead that is connected to the cross, they think, because it's the same time period. So you got that going for you. And other objects they found, like that brooch. So what they're trying to do is look for new objects. And they're going around. Gary's got his metal detector in there. Boop, 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 boop. And they find something. They don't show you what it is yet, but it looks like maybe a piece of metal, and there's like a hole drilled in it. That's what it looks like to me right now before the commercial break. I don't know what it is. I have a feeling it's man-made, because the hole's so perfect. They look very excited. And then we're going to find out soon. What it is. Let's go back to the show. All right, OAKHEADS, we are back. I actually did 2 commercial breaks this time, just because it was like a short break and it didn't seem like there was a lot, so I decided to give you 2 so I can give you 2 updates. Okay, so here we are. They find the quarry hammer, what they feel to be is a quarry hammer, possibly a sledgehammer. That's the object that Gary finds on lot 21 with Dan and Rick. Looks like a hammer. It's the rock. I called it a rock earlier in the show, based off teaser, but it seems to be iron. Has a man-made hole in it, and you kind of you could stick a stick in there and then use it to hammer stuff. So they think it's a quarry hammer, possibly a sledgehammer. Either way, Rick calls it a top pocket find, and then Gary, being all witty like he normally is, says, I need a bigger top pocket. Great joke, Gary. Love your sense of humor. And then they keep looking, and guess what? They find a second hammer. That's huge. Now we have not just one, but two. And what does that mean? That means there's multiple people working there possibly, or it's a big project. You have two of these things. It's not just like one, but it's like, okay, now we're seeing a pattern here. Both great finds, and they're going to go get them checked out later. And when also a little production note, I noticed as they're walking out, they have a nice little aerial drone. I'm curious how they shoot these things, whether they have a drone flying over them the whole time. My guess is they don't, because drones with cameras make a lot of noise, and you don't want noise when you're shooting a reality show like this. You want it as quiet as possible. I almost wonder if as they're done their scene and they're wrapping up, production goes, hey guys, wait a second, we're going to send this drone up, and then they get that nice aerial shot from above, and then you saw them walking out, and then you hear them say like, okay, great night. That's probably my guess of how this production goes down. They shoot for a while, and then at the end they make sure they get their final shots. Either way, great cinematography. The show does a really, really good job, I think, as far as how it's shot for a reality show. I mentioned in the first episode, I used to work in a little reality. I've done a little bit of it, and it's really tough to shoot because you don't know what's going on. You don't have a lot of setup, besides your sit-down interviews. Like, it's a lot of on-the-go run and gun, especially outside where, you're dealing with just like the sunlight, as the day goes on. Like, the hardest thing is you can't have a bunch of electricity and a bunch of lights like you would a movie studio or TV set. So you're kind of going with the flow with it. And the fact that they're dealing with that, man, they do a great job shooting the show. Shout out Prometheus, the production company. Great job. Love to get an interview with one of you guys and just pick your brains on how the show's made. I know you probably can't, because you can't, you want to keep it a little mysterious for the folks. But great job. Love the aerial shots from the drone. Keep it up. And the thing is, if you notice, as the season goes on, as the show goes on more and more, you start noticing different, my little light's going all over the place. You start, you get more money by season 7. You get more production value. Like I said in the first episode, seems like they're shooting in 4K. They might have got better cameras. I don't know. I'd love to find out. One day, maybe I'll get to interview someone. If you're out there, if you're watching, if you're an OAKHEAD and you work for the show, or hey, even if you used to work for the show and you're not like, not quite tight with them and want to spill some beans, let me know. Host of this show, Jon Hill, would like to talk with you. All right. So, 2 top pocket finds. We'll get to that later about what they are. Next, they go and they grab Dr. Ian Spooner, a geoscientist, a professor of OAKHEADS University in Canada. He is a wetland expert. He has studied the wetlands of Canada a lot. He is an expert. So they bring him in to search for what they say. Now pay attention. What they quote unquote say is the first set of drilling, right? Remember, because they drilled, they hit the capstone, and they said, oh, we'll come back and drill again later the next day. Let's think about this, OAKHEADS. When they were done drilling, do you think they went and found Ian Spooner and got him and had him investigate all this stuff before day 2 of drilling? No, they didn't. My guess is they did 1 day of drilling. They did a second day of drilling, or how many days of drilling. We don't know yet. The episode's not over yet. And then what happened is when they brought in Ian Spooner, they wanted to edit, even though they have multiple days of drilling samples in, they wanted to pretend like the doctor only saw the first day. So I think that's what happens, because you can see Marty going, hey, that bag is from the first day, because I think there's actually multiple days that were there. Either way, maybe they'll come back to him. We're not sure. We don't know what, the next days of drilling are going to bring us. But I feel like that's an editing trick where, they wanted to show multiple days, or they had to edit it in. So instead of him, looking at all 4 days or all 2 days or whatever, they made it seem like it happened in between the drilling days. But I don't think that's true. But either way, Dr. Ian Spooner, the wetland Canadian expert of Canadian wetlands. I don't know if he's Canadian himself, but he looks at it and he says he sees some sea bottom, but doesn't think it's terribly old. So what does that mean? That means if this swamp had been there for, centuries or, millions and millions of years, you'd see a lot of the water come from the sea that got there. But he says there's not too much of it, meaning that, the water that's in there didn't come from deep in the sea for a long time. So that's my read on it. So what he's trying to say is that maybe this swamp hasn't been there forever. Now, what could that mean? Does that necessarily mean it's man-made? No. But maybe over time, the corrosion naturally of the islands, the sea level rises, it lowers, whatever it's going on, is part of why the swamp is there, or, think of it's like, anyone lives by a beach or has ever been to the beach, you have your sand dunes, like it can change over time. So he's going to do more research and find out how old this swamp is. They were hinting that it's man-made. I still don't believe it's man-made, but we'll find out. He's going to, we got a Canadian wetland expert, an expert of Canadian wetlands. Again, I don't know if he's Canadian or not, but that's Dr. Ian Spooner, a geoscientist and professor at the Acadia University. He's going to get back to us. All right. Next section. This part is a little weird because they start talking about the cave-in pit. Okay. So apparently in the spring of 1878, Sophia Sellers, who used to be a farmer on Oak Island, was tilling the field, and then all of a sudden her and her oxen fell into a pit. Like 10 feet down, she fell into a pit. The earth collapsed and she fell into the ground. And they think it was some sort of air shaft, and they're calling it a cave-in pit. Like, have you ever seen a sinkhole? I think that's kind of what it's like. And then they start looking in there and they find an anomaly. But here's the thing. I don't remember this cave-in pit at all. Do you? Like, have they ever talked about this cave-in pit? I honestly don't remember. I was like, is this new? What the heck is going on here? But I'll be honest, I don't, maybe they did talk about it and I just forgot. I mean, the show's been going on for 7 years, a lot, Comment below. Do me a favor, Oakheads. Help your host, Jon Hill, out. Comment below, either on the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments, and let me know if I forgot about this. Do we know anything about the cave-in pit? Possibly. I could be absolutely wrong, but I just don't remember it. Either way, it's not, even if they brought it up, it's not obviously 10X or the money pit, or I'd remember it. It's not the Knights Templar. But let me know if you remember where they talked about it or any more detail. Put it in the comments below, either on the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments. And by the way, like and subscribe. You can like on the YouTube and Facebook, but you can subscribe on the YouTube. Do that so you get updates because you want to know when these videos come out, Oakheads. Thank you very much. But I don't remember this at all, so it's a mystery to me. But look, like I said, Oak Island, lots of mysteries. What's the mystery of the cave-in pit? You guys help me know. All right, another little observation. Terry Matheson. Does he look like Laird Nevins to you? I sometimes get them confused. Luckily, they title them and, they say their names because I get them confused all the time. I want you to comment below and let me know. Have you ever got Terry Matheson and Laird Nevins confused? Because they kind of do similar jobs and they kind of look alike. So let me know. Comment below, either on the YouTube page or the Facebook page. And while you're at it, like and subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube and like the Facebook post. Make sure you do that. All right. Last section before the break, we bring back Carmen Legg to identify some of these metals, the quarry hammers and a couple other things. Two things he notices. The 1700 English shoe. All right, that's old and he recognizes it and he finds two of them. They're very distinct. So we know there's some kind of English shoe. This is, I think, a horseshoe that's there. So that's important to know. Double check me on the horse part. I don't remember. I didn't write that down in my notes, but it's called an English shoe. Then he says he finds the things that Gary just found at lot 21. He says, you'd think they were a hammer, but they weren't. they were swages. Now what a swage does is they sharpen tools and you heat them up, and they're also used to like form other tools, tools for tunneling. They're very, very rare, and he thinks they could be mid 1400s. Very, very old, which is huge because remember, the older things we find, the more mysterious they are. Where, we start, the history of Oak Island gets deeper and deeper because these are undocumented things. So these swages could be proof that, people were there in the mid 1400s, or possibly, also you have to remember, sometimes just because something's from the mid 1400s doesn't mean that they were necessarily there during the mid 1400s. You can bring something from the mid 1400s, you can bring them there in the 1500s. That's one thing this show likes to do. They're like, well, if this thing was dated in mid 1400s, that means that it must have been created there in the mid 1400s. That's not true. You can take an old item and bring it, to some place. Like if you take an old rotary phone and you take it to a new place, that doesn't mean that the rotary phone was there in 2019. It just means someone in 2019 had the old rotary phone. You get what I'm saying? Okay, you're smart. You probably get it. So either way, though, it is a symbol that a lot of old stuff was happening down there, and possibly for the tunneling. So maybe it's just more and more little evidence that, there's something down there. And we're going to find out. Went back to commercial break, and the show's it's wrapping up this episode, so we'll see this exciting conclusion of episode 2, season 7 coming up next. All right, Oakheads, the show is over. The last commercial break has run its course, and not much, guys. I'm gonna drink a little wine because not much happening here. That's good wine. Okay, so here's the deal. There's no ship. All right, like I had suspected early, Terry Matheson, aka Laird Nevin's lookalike, no wood in any of the drilling they found. Probably could have told you that, guys. I should have listened, watched the show. Kind of a bummer, because I was really, you want it, but here's the thing, you kind of know if the show starts with something, they're just getting through it because they know it's going to be a disappointment, so they need to move on to something else. So no ship, kind of a bummer, and I suspected that. But what the show does is it pivots to the idea that the clay that they found underneath could mean that there's a tunnel there. That's another reach to me, all right? Because you didn't find the ship, but you found clay, so it's like, well, if there's clay, that means you could, you could possibly have you could tunnel under the swamp because of it. Yeah, technically you can. Not buying it. I am not buying it. I don't know how you in 1700 or whatever build a tunnel under a swamp. I think it'd be hard to do in 2019, let alone a bunch of people with these swage hammers. Come on, folks. So I'm very skeptical about that, unfortunately. But they're gonna look into it. They meet in the war room, and Marty seems to feel like there's something in that swamp. So they're gonna try to figure out how to dig down there deeper, how to get to the clay. And now they're saying the clay might be the anomaly. They think that might be a part of it. So now they got to figure out what kind of permits they need. And if you've seen all the other episodes, permits can be a pain in the butt. So that's one thing they have to do. So they're kind of spinning it from there could have been a SHIP, which was the big cliffhanger last year, into this season, looking for the swamp in that. And now they seem to be spinning it to a different storyline of what this tunnel could be. The narrator is, where does the tunnel lead? Could it be? Was the tunnel to the treasure of great fortunes? Or was it another purpose? Could it be, the Knights Templar? Nah, they didn't say the Knights Templar. I'm making that up. But that's kind of what they do. When they go one direction and it's not what it is, they just switch it to the other direction, right? No ship? Yeah, but there's a lot of clay there. And if there's clay, then sure, why not there be a tunnel in the clay? And where could that tunnel lead? Probably to like gold, right? I mean, this makes sense. I mean, logically, this makes sense, right? Again, skeptical. Very, very skeptical. It's a very skeptical episode. First episode, 2 hours, a lot of like good ideas, a lot of fun things happening. This time, a little, I gotta get my light. My light is really, sorry guys, I'm gonna get a better light next episode. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. So you know when the next episode is. I promise you there'll be a better light. I'm gonna get a better light for episode 3 of OAKHEADS Island. So what I was saying was, kind of a bummer of an episode, but that's all right. That's all right. For all of us OAKHEADS who've watched the show for 7 years, you know what they say, after every valley there's a peak, right? That's like life, right? When you have your lows, that means the good's coming. So I would say episode 2 is a little bit of a low. Episode 1 was a peak. Great episode, 2 hours, really got us going, set the season off strong. Episode 2 kind of, a lot of the things weren't really what we thought they were going to be. Probably on a valley, but I expect episode 3 to really step up. If you saw the trailer, which of course you have to do, it's the best part of the episode, very exciting. Lots of excitement, lots of zoom ins. They zoom into every shot. Ready? Check this out. Okay, ready? Let me see if I can show you how this works. Ready? Watch this. Ready? I'm gonna do some editing in post. Ready? The tunnel. Could it be treasure? What? Episode 3, a tunnel? The money pit? Whoa, there's some metal down here. See all those zooms in? That's like kind of makes it feel like it's gonna happen, like a lot, like there's a lot of excitement. And there's one thing we know, they never lie in the trailers. That's fact. I'm excited for next episode. I know you OAKHEADS are too. So thanks for watching. Thanks for allowing me into all the Facebook groups. Thanks for letting me, do my thing. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. So make sure you subscribe and like. Remember, you can subscribe on the YouTube and like it. You can't subscribe on the Facebook, but you can like it on the Facebook. Leave comments. You can do comments on both Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you do both. I'm going to try to find both, but make sure you do. Also, share the video. Post it all around. I'm going to be everywhere. I just wanted to get more people talking about the show in your comments and things like that. All you OAKHEADS out there, get excited, because like I said, this might have been a kind of a downer episode, but that means next episode is going to be great. I believe it. Ricky and Marty never let us down. All right. So again, I'm your host, Jon Hill. This has been OAKHEADS Island, Curse of Oak Island recap, explainer, awesome show. Season 7, episode 2, OAKHEADS. Let's do it. I'm out. Peace.